guys, this is me, Hamza6951, and today I'm going to show you how to make a self-sustaining ecosystem in a jar. So this will basically be a dry ecosystem with a layer of substrate, then we'll have some soil as a second layer. On the top layer we'll have some plants, some mushrooms, some fungi. As you can already see that I've collected, I went to the forest and gathered these materials. So I got water from the riverside. I got some soil which is rich in nutrients and might even contain some bugs and worms. Then in this one I gathered some stones from the lake as well, which will be a substrate layer, and then some moss, some mushrooms. I also got some roly-polies. They will basically be the cleanup crew, and some mushrooms. We're not going to use all of these. I gathered these in a high amount, so we'll have some diversity and options to choose from. So let's get started. I'm going to get this out on the plastic bag here, because the first thing we're going to do is have stones and then add soil later on. So let's do that. So let's put the water and the small jar aside at the moment. We're going to open this big jar, this one right here, and just going to empty out the stuff that we got. So the first thing we got is mushrooms. There they are. Just make sure they don't damage them. Then I got some soaked wood. Need to be careful because they might have some insects on them as well, because I had a small centipede that I carried as well with this. Some more wood. This has a bit of algae on it as well, so that will be good. Some sticks that might be useful for landscaping. And finally some moss, which I gathered in a high amount. Okay, so we have this as well. There we go. I guess that's everything. The only thing we're left with now is a layer of stones. So we have some moss in here, mushrooms, and then we have a layer of stone. So this layer will stay. What we're going to do now is add we can add water at the end, or we can add it now, but we're going to add soil now. So we're going to add the soil in here. So let's do that. Hey guys, so now we have the first layer set up, which is a substrate layer. That's where the water will be, because we don't want the water to go into the soil. Otherwise it will cause the roots to decay, and we don't want that. To make it easier, I just got this paper and I'm just going to scoop it from here and add it slowly, making sure not to make a mess. Making sure it doesn't stick to the glass balls, because it will be a pain to get it out later. We need a good thick layer, so I'll probably say about 1 to 1.5 inch would be good. And as I'm doing it, I'm gonna evenly spread it out as well. Now to add some depth to it, we can also raise some of the places, so make them either higher or slightly lower, which we can do. So I'm just going to add a bit of height on the side of the jar, just to make it a bit more, just to landscape it a bit, I guess. And I'm also going to gently just push it down a bit. There we go. I guess that looks good. Let me do a closer. So we have the rock layer, and on top of that we have some soil, and on top of that now we're going to decorate with the things I have over here. So now that this soil layer is done, I gathered some moss that is still quite moist, so I'm going to add that with a pair of tweezers and this wooden, which I will probably cut in half because I don't want all of it in there. It's just going to, there we go. So we could add that for depth, just in here somewhere. To use my tweezers to help me a bit. Okay, to cover that a bit, I'll just add a bit of moss on the side. Make sure not to add too much moss because it is going to spread. So I'm just going to add it underneath there, like so. Then we can add some wood. I'll just use one of the pieces. You can use this one because this looks a bit nicer, I would say. Like so. Then I found these as well, which we can add. So I'm just going to rip one of the things off, one of the sticks, of the branches, and then just add it. Might add it to the height over here, and just like lay it like that, and just cover it with a bit of soil. Next we can actually add the second one as well. Just cut it short and make sure it sinks a bit in the soil as well, like so. Just cover the remaining with the rest of that. Okay, so far it's looking okay. We have a bit of diversity now. Let's just add a bit more moss. This is a good patch that I found, and it has roots as well, so I'm just going to take a small amount, and because this looks okay, the small patch. Just going to add it here. Okay, so it's looking good so far. What else can we add? Let's see, we could add a bit more of this moist wood on the other side, because we do have a cleanup crew that will take care of this once it decays a bit. So you can add that there. Then we could add one mushroom, because we don't want too many. I guess one would be sufficient for the job. So from this pile I'll just take a small one, the smallest one they have, making sure not to degrade its roots too much. I guess this would be okay. You can just add that in the middle, right in the middle. So just make a bit of space for it, and we'll just add it right there. There we go. And just cover it up with a bit of soil. Let's get some soil from here and cover it up. There we go. It's looking really good now. And I guess most of the cleanup crew that I got, or the insects I got, will be in the rocks. So once I put water in it, they will start to come out and come up to the top there, so that will be good. You can already see the centipede that I got, so I can add that there. If I can catch it.
A few inches later.
So I found some small cleanup crew, and we will add him. There we go, there he goes. There we go, I got it. Can see him moving about on my tweezers, so I'm going to add him. There he goes. Just going to add a bit of moss as well, just a small amount. I think this would do. So just a small amount on the other edge, or just over here. Okay, that's good. I think that's looking really good. So we're going to stop here, and the final thing would be to add water. So let me just clear all this mess up, and then we can start adding water. Hey guys, so after just clearing everything up, I found 2 more roly-polies without hurting them. Just going to make sure they come up on the tweezers like so, and just going to add them. Gentle push, there they are inside. Just going to do the same with the other one. So they are good for cleanup because they munch on the dead wood. Just going to give a push, there we go, they're all in. Now The last thing would be to add water. So now we're going to add water. Here is our completed ecosystem. So we have water in the layer, the bottom layer, which is up to over here, and then going up we have about 1.5 inch layer of soil rich with nutrients, and on the top layer we have some wood, some moss, some mushrooms, a bunch of clear up glue. Just going to show you from the top. This is how it looks. As you can see, there's a lot of biodiversity in here. You can already see those roly-polies munching on the dead wood. Okay guys, so the final thing to do now is to close the lid. Let's do it. And this has to be an airtight seal as well. Go. And there you have it. This is how to create a self-sustaining ecosystem. Hey guys, so this is day 3 of the self-sustaining ecosystem, and I've seen a lot of activity lately in this. You can see that the moss is actually growing and is still in good condition. I've actually spotted the wood lice. One is right there, if I can get it to focus properly, and the other one is just there. If you see that reflection right here, that one. And then there's also a centipede which is just chilling on the moss right here. There we go, you can just see that there, and they're doing really well. I did witness one of the wood lice dying. I don't know, it could have been while transportation, or he was buried too deep under the under the soil. I've also seen a worm that occasionally comes out and then goes back in. I saw him in the morning, he must be inside. And then there's also a tiny snail which is just chilling about right there. But yeah, after 4 days it's still successful and it's really good.